Aloha everyone. Welcome to the District 49's Public Relations Training, session number 3. If you are joining us for the very first time or if you're watching this on YouTube and you have no clue where you are, so let me introduce to you what Toastmasters International is, first of all. So we are an educational, non-profit international organization. We promote the skills of public speaking and leadership through various clubs. We have more than 14,000 club in more than 140 countries. We have somewhere around 270k members worldwide. Out of these, we have roughly 50 clubs in the state of Hawaii, and those 50 clubs represents roughly 750 members, and that's what we call District 49. So you are at Toastmasters International, and you are at District 49, the District of Hawaii. My name is Tanishk. I am currently serving as the Public Relations Manager, and today we are here to learn about the art of promotion. Now, before I invite our speaker, let me just pull up their introduction. Our trainer today, distinguished Toastmaster Julie Murphy, was named Founders District Toastmaster of the Year for 2019-2020 and has held just about every role at both the club and district levels. She served as the 2022-23 Founders District Director and the 2020-21 Public Relations Manager. As Public Relations Manager, Julie established a consistent, engaging communication rhythm for the district, shining a spotlight on members and clubs. She is also a seasoned Vice President of Public Relations multiple times over. Julie is passionate about all things communication and brings her professional PR expertise to help clubs boost their visibility. By day, she is part of the marketing communications team at one of Orange County's largest automakers, using her skills to drive organizational success. For our training session today, she brings us the art of promotion. So, friends, with a huge round of applause, please welcome Julie.
Thank you. Great to see everyone here today. Let me just go ahead and share my presentation, and I will provide the handout at the end as well. Okay. I don't know why it is not advancing today. Oh, I know why. Okay, there we go. Our club promotion plan. Who's had the opportunity and pathways to work through putting together a club promo plan? Go ahead and raise your hand. Say yes. Okay. Not seeing a lot of hands raised. Well, that's okay, because we are going to talk about all the steps to build your promotion plan. If we are putting it through the lens of promotion, who do we feel is our primary audience? Anybody want to?
Prospective members?
Our members are important. I do say our members are the heart of everything we do. However, through our promotion, we're looking to reach new people.
Right.
In this case, we're going to do a little bit of a reverse logic in terms of who our most important audience is. Our most important audience is actually the people that we haven't met yet.
Yep.
People that we would like to become friends with. Those people that we would like to welcome to our family. So knowing that they are the most important, those people that we haven't met, who do we think are secondary audiences? This is typically people that we have met that haven't moved through the funnel to become a member, and perhaps former members. They're people that we've met, but they're not currently a member. So knowing that our primary audience is people that we have not met, and our secondary audience is people that we have met, who do we think our third audience is?
Your current members?
Yes, our current members, because in everything we do, we don't want to forget about our current members because they're extremely important to our efforts as well. And we'll talk a little bit more throughout how each of these audiences are so incredibly important, including the all-important members. What do we think some of our goals are when we are communicating?
Good question.
And one of the things we want to communicate is we want to entice people to become a member. But before we can entice them to become a member, we have to entice them to come to our meeting. So really important to think about what messages you want to communicate. And there's a lot of messages of Toastmasters is a speaking organization. Toastmasters can make you a leader. That's great. Every club can say that. There's thousands and thousands of clubs worldwide. But we need to attract people to our club, and we need to stand out when we're posting in the Toastmasters Facebook group and the region groups and just general social media. We really need to think about what is our unique value proposition. What makes my club different? We all do speeches, we all do table topics, and we all do evaluations. But how do we do it different? Do we train the world champions? Do we have a club that people typically make it to at least the quarterfinals, if not the world stage on a regular basis? And that would attract people that are really looking to be a professional speaker. Do we have evaluations that are, I don't know, round robin? Or do we have a special evaluation component to our meeting? Do we evaluate table topics? These are ways that we can start really digging deep and thinking about what makes my club stand out. If you're not really sure, you can ask your members, why do you come to our meetings? Other than, of course, you get to hang out with me, and spending time with me is always great. But why do you spend that $60 every 6 months? Why are you perhaps giving up, a cup of coffee every 6 months to spend some time here? And you can find out what draws them. Because a lot of times why we join Toastmasters is a lot different than when we renewed. I joined Toastmasters because I had a director that said, Julie, you need to stop saying the word like every 5 seconds. I said, like, you don't understand. I'm from Southern California. Like, it's our word. We just say it every 5 seconds. He really wasn't impressed. I joined Toastmasters, dragged my feet. I did it. Never did I dream of becoming the district director. Never did I dream of sitting here and training you today. But now I can demonstrate the value that I've received through my clubs. I'm a member of 4 different clubs, and people always ask me, why are you a part of so many clubs? And I tell people, each club challenges me in new ways. So ask your members, specifically for the club that we are promoting, why do you show up at the meetings? Why do you love our club? What makes our club special? And that can help you start defining your unique value proposition, as well as just simply visiting other clubs and finding out, how do they do something? How do we do something? You might even learn some cool tips and tricks that you can bring to your own club. So do think about that when you are putting together your plan. You'll also need to think about what tools you're going to use to communicate and how often you're going to communicate. And it may depend based off who the audience is, and it will definitely depend how often your club meets. Okay, so we're going to do a little sample, and I want to know, what are your goals with your plan? So for example, a lot of times we say we want new members. We can't control if they join our club. Therefore, I always ask us to look at how many people do we want to attract as a guest? Can we increase our Facebook following? Can we increase the number of people that reach out through the Find a Club, the prospective member management system? Those are all ways that I measure my success with communication, because before they can join, I need to be able to communicate and draw them in. So I'm going to ask everybody, scan the QR code and drop in what is your goals for your communication plan. And it's an active Mentimeter. I can drop the link as well. In case the link is easier than the QR code. Go ahead and take a minute, just drop. What is one goal you have for your communication? I think is the best way to think about it. Okay, we have some results. So I'm going to stop presenting this one. I'm going to go ahead and share our results with us. So our communication goals are to empathize, inspire, and support. I do like those, but I would encourage us to think about what are the results that we want to get by being empathetic, by being inspiring. We want to have goals that we can measure. So, that goes back to, do I want to increase the leads by 5%? Do we want to increase our social media followers by 10%? Those are all things that are actionable and you can set goals toward. Well, I love that we want to communicate that we're empathetic and we're supportive. It's a little bit more difficult to measure. So when we think about what goals are, in this case, we do want to think about items that we can benchmark. Of course, we do want to think about how we're going to communicate it and some of those key messages that we might incorporate, that we're a very supportive club, you have a mentor, we have inspiring speeches, you're going to leave wow, we're empathetic. All those are things that, of course, we can incorporate into our key messages about our club. But when we think about a goal, we always want to think about something that's measurable. Just a quick tip on that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my presentation again. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next slide. Now that we've thought about some of our goals, let's start preparing for our club promotion. I always say that before my mom comes over, I need my mom to think that I'm a big girl, that I'm a grown adult, and my house is not a disaster. Well, the reality is, my mom raised me. She knows my house is a disaster, but I just want to have a little bit of hey, I'm not 100% of a disaster. So I go through and I clean everything up real quick. I stuff everything in drawers, never to be found again. But I want to feel as if I'm a responsible adult. This is similar to, club promotion. We want to make sure that our house is in order before we invite our guests. For example, we can promote all day long, but if our Find a Club is not updated, how are people going to actually find us? If we say that we are meeting in person at a location and somebody shows up and our club is not there, they're not going to reach back out to us and say, hey, where do I go? I couldn't see you. If we change our meeting day and time, we want to make sure that our Find a Club is active. Those are some of the things that we want to think about, as well as the Find a Club contact. Make sure that it's somebody that's actually going to pick up the phone when somebody calls. At least check their voicemail. I know a lot of times I don't pick up unknown numbers because there's a lot of people. Hey, your car warranty's expired. Hi, it's the IRS calling you. I'm pretty sure they're not actually calling me to tell me anything. But those are some of the things that you want to think about, is really making sure that that Find a Club is up to date and digging in to your unique value proposition of what makes you unique. Our club website, similar to the Find a Club, we want to look like we are in business. If our club has meeting information from 2 years ago, I'm going to pass on your club because I'm going to think you're out of business. I don't understand the Toastmasters program and understand that clubs are suspended and not active or what have you. I'm going to say, I don't know, this club doesn't look like they're meeting. Or, you know what? I don't know if they're meeting. These aren't people that I want to be a part of. They seem like a disorganized mess. So those are the things to think about when we prepare. And also, who do you know? We're going to talk a little bit more about who do you know as we get through the presentation. If you're not sure how to update your Find a Club, this is just a quick look at where you go to update it. And do be sure that as club officers, you are checking the prospective member management. It does email your club president and your vice president of membership. But at the same time, let's make sure that, in case maybe they are busy traveling, busy with work, what have you, that somebody's calling in on a regular basis to just double check. Okay. So what makes our club unique? I ask you to go beyond the club mission and really evaluate what that club purpose is, but then also think about your target audience. For example, are we looking to send the next world champion to the world stage? Do we want the next world champion? Or are we looking for a club that is going to be mentors for young professionals? Are we looking for people that are in the finance industry and want some networking in that? There's so many different ways that you can define your target audience. First, look at what makes your club unique versus the other clubs. Go beyond that club mission for really determining your club purpose. Why do people show up? And then take a look at who your members are, and you can start developing your target audience for that. And yes, we want everybody to be a member of our club. That's 18 and older, of course, but it is very important that we are preparing our club promotion that we provide a sense of our target audience without saying we're open to only finance professionals, because of course we would welcome other people that are interested in Toastmasters. And I do ask you to carry out everything you do in all your club components. So if evaluations are your thing, if you're like, evaluations are my jam, really analyze how do we amplify those evaluations, and that would be incorporated into your key messages. So, people that are looking to really become, better speakers or better communicators, they would really appreciate those evaluations. Or maybe somebody that's looking to reduce filler words. That I joined simply because that's what my director at the time said I needed to do. So those are some of the ways that you can think about who your target audience is and being able to communicate. And then you can subtly mention it. We provide great networking for finance professionals. in your promotion. And that's just one of the things that you can think about in further defining that unique value proposition. And if you're a corporate club, one of the things that you can do is you can reach out to the various departments within your company and reach out to those directors, those vice presidents, and describe how Toastmasters can help their department. Because you have a much more limited set of people, unless, of course, you're a large global corporate club, then you have a large audience. But if you are targeting your members that are part of maybe more of a local company, I still recommend, it's still a huge opportunity, but reach out to each department head and let them know how Toastmasters can help them, because it's really important to define, because every group has different needs. Christopher, did you have a question?
No, that's fine. Excellent. Very good.
Thanks.
Very nice presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so now that we have talked about our goals for our plan, let's go ahead and think about what is that message that we want to communicate? What is our unique value proposition that we think our club has? And I will drop the link for that one in chat as well, in case it's easier. Go ahead and stop this share and start sharing my other screen so you can see some of the results of what we're hoping to communicate. Ooh, meet in person. I love that, because some people are really looking for those interpersonal connection speaking options. I think that's awesome, because that is one of our core tenets of being a Toastmaster. Produce champions. I love that. And keynotes, such a practical opportunity for people that are looking to be that professional speaker. It's an amazing opportunity. Friends helping friends. I think that really goes back to that interpersonal connection that people are looking for. During COVID, I feel that a lot of people felt that they lost that connection. They lost that connection with others. Now, granted, some people feel that they had great connections with others because they spent a lot of time being able to have time on Zoom and being able to really spend more quality time with people that matter versus having to spend time with the whole world. So that's just one of the things that you can think about, is how you can just be able to communicate what that unique value proposition is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to my presentation. And okay, so now that we've talked about the messages that we're going to communicate for a unique value proposition, it's time to take a look at leveraging our club website. Similar to our Find a Club, make sure that our club website is up to date. Make sure that it has some unique personalization. I remember when I was looking for, I need to go back. Oops. Sorry about that. Ooh, going the wrong way. when I was looking for a club, I remember all the club websites looked the same. I didn't really understand why I should join one club versus another. I was taking the path of least resistance. I chose a date and time that worked for me. I thought, I don't know, I'm just doing this to make my director happy. I want a good performance review. Little did I know that there actually was benefit to Toastmasters, but so many people that are joining my clubs nowadays are saying, I'm coming to your club for X reason. They see our website, they see our social media promotion. So make sure that your club website is up to date. How do I find your club? Yes, we have the Find a Club, but if they Google and they come in that way through the club website and that's their first contact with you, we want to make sure that it's up to date. Who can they contact? When they do the contact us, make sure that that person is actually a member of the club still, because if you're using free toast host, unless you've taken somebody out, then of course that person could still be getting the messages and they're thinking, I don't know, I'm not a member of the club anymore. Why does it matter who's reaching out? And then also add that personalization, add your unique value proposition. If you're able to, add photos from your meetings, add recaps from your meetings. That will just make it even more personal. Here's a club that I think they do a really great job of that family spirit. The Back Talkers. And then on the left, you see a club that they have a evaluation master role. And it's a special role that is solely focused on evaluating something as your Zoom presence, your vocal variety, your storytelling, whatever it may be. It switches from week to week. But these are two great clubs that really demonstrate through their club website, hey, you know what? I should come to this club because I'm looking to really grow my skills. And I know that if I receive evaluations, I'm going to grow. Because at work, sometimes we only receive evaluations from our manager, or we only receive negative feedback because you've done something wrong. Of course, we like praise, but sometimes I find that people are very busy and they forget the praise. And in Toastmasters, you always get the praise and the how you could do better. And it's an ongoing thing. And people looking to build connection with others. If I'm looking to build connection, a club that has some balloons, a club that looks very exciting, I'm thinking, I want to go hang out with these people because they seem really fun. Okay. Word of mouth is often the most compelling way. There's a club in Founders District that they chartered a year ago. They've doubled their size. Why? It's all about who they know. They are very great at, hey, friend, do you want to come? Hey, do you want to come? Friends invite friends, invite friends, invite friends. They also get a lot of members because their club has the name of the city in it as well. So it's a combination of friends inviting friends as well as just those people coming in. And then they're very great at, hey, what brought you in today? What are you looking for? Getting those guests involved right away. Another opportunity you have is, are your members working on advanced projects? Are they working on panel presentations? Are they working on the longer speak professionally speeches? Guess what? You can use those as special meetings and really put forward extra promotion. Of course, we should be promoting all the time, but I do find myself promoting extra when I know it's an open house or special event. And I do find that others do that as well. So it's an opportunity to showcase your members. If one of your members is doing a panel presentation, I always say, invite a couple people from your club and encourage them to invite a couple people from outside your club. Not only do you have an opportunity for those people to feel that, oh, I'm already a part of the family. I'm worthy of speaking at this club. Maybe I want to join this club too. Or they also are bringing in their friends to the meeting as well. And perhaps some of their friends are looking to join the club Because they're like, oh, you know what? My friend just spoke here. These are some really cool people. I want to hang out with them as well. So those are some of the ways. Always be promoting is one of the key takeaways. If you learn nothing else today, always be promoting, always be thinking and challenging your members. Who do you know? Who do you think could be a great asset for our club? A few tools that you can use: a newsletter, social media, and member recognition. And some of this goes hand in hand. A lot of what you put in your social media can go in your newsletter and vice versa. In your member recognition, your newsletter, your social media, and during your meeting. So we may be thinking, well, what would I put in my newsletter? I tell all my members everything. But once again, we can keep our former members on the list. And if we write every meeting description as a sizzle, people are going to have that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And they're going to say, you know what? I think I'm going to make time in my life and I'm going to come today. Because it's all about encouraging people, and especially those former members. They were a member at one point, maybe life got busy, maybe life isn't as busy anymore, and they can come. I've had members say, you know what, I signed up for this college class and it conflicts with this. Well, you know what, I'm looking at when their college course is done for that based off their school. I'm inviting them. Hey, I hope your college class went good. Are you on a better schedule? We'd love to have you back. And they're on your mailing list, so they're getting all the great updates still. You can have meeting highlights, photos from the meetings if your members are okay with it, recaps of the meeting. This person delivered this great story about their great travels. They had these 5 tips for us. Key reminders, because once again, it is going to our members as well. And our newsletter audience is primarily our members. Dues are up. Reinvest in yourself. Who's interested in being a club officer and the benefits of being a club officer? If your members are open to it, they can record some testimonials. You can upload it to YouTube. You can embed it in your newsletter and it brings it to life. Recognition. Have your members completed a level? Make sure that you're recognizing them in the newsletter. Now, I will say if their profile is set to not have marketing communications, then do check with them to make sure that they are okay with the recognition, because they've simply set their profile to a little bit more private. But I know some people have simply just set their profile that way because they don't want to get bombarded with marketing communications. Toastmasters International does not market it to us and bombard us with items, but we always know that, you sign up for one newsletter and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, these people email me every day. Our new members don't know that, and they also don't understand that the district won't be able to see their name. And so that's one thing that, because I've had people reach out and they're like, oh, I wasn't included in the district newsletter for getting my level 5. I'm so excited about it. And I look and I'm like, oh, I don't see you on the list. What club? And then we discover that, oh, we just need to opt in to the communication, or, you can of course add them if they reach out. So that's just one of the tools and tips and tricks. Before you post any photos of your members online, do make sure that you have a photo release form. I also recommend that we don't take random photos during the meeting. When people are speaking, it never turns out great because their mouth is open. They're not looking, at you necessarily. So I personally love the pose photos. Take a family photo at the end of the meeting. Take a photo of your winner with the best table topic, speaker, evaluation, role player, if you have that for your meetings. Those are the great photos that you can use. I do not like the random ones, and I find that members also overall don't appreciate the random ones, and it doesn't communicate your club in the best way, because yes, people are trying to pay attention, But if they're taking a sip of water, if they look off to the side because their cat's meowing at them, or somebody is walking by, it doesn't really communicate the engaging and exciting aspect of your club. So those are some of my newsletter tips. Social media. Review the Toastmasters brand manual to make sure that your content is brand compliant. And if you're thinking, I don't really have a lot of time on my hands and I need a quick poster, Toastmasters International does have some Canva resources. And I know Tanish also has some District 49 resources for you as well. And once you've got a hang of creating some of your own stuff in Canva, then you can get a little bit more advanced and create your own unique content in Canva. Just do make sure that it's appropriately sized for the platform that you're planning to use. I a lot of times just create an Instagram size. I find that it works across all the platforms, but if you're creating a large poster, then a lot of times part of it's cut off. Your meeting date might be cut off. Somebody's head might be cut off. It looks funky and wonky. People aren't going to necessarily click on the photo. They're scrolling through. They're not paying attention to, oh, it has more detail, because they don't necessarily know. So those are some of the things to think about, is what size we're using. I know it's great to have a full-size poster, but in this case, because it is for social media and our newsletter, those small bite-sized posters will work a lot better. Okay. Why do we even care about branding? Because it communicates a message. Toastmasters is a professional organization, and we always want to make sure that we're demonstrating the professionalism. We don't want a cartoon. Please don't go out there and make ChatGPT images. They look fake. They don't look real. Toastmasters International has a multitude of branding resources that we can download and that we can use. There's other websites out there that if you type in public speaking, you can use those images for free. But those AI ones, they're not branded. They don't look great. ChatGPT is great for helping you start with the content. I do recommend you customize it, make it sound a little bit more, your club's unique voice. Otherwise, everybody just sounds the same. I might spend way too much time looking at items online, but I can definitely tell when it's coming from ChatGPT. But I do use ChatGPT to get me started. So these are just some examples of iconic brands. Similar to the Toastmasters brand, when you look at it, you definitely know. And I will say I spend a lot of time scrolling my Facebook. I follow a lot of clubs. I follow a lot of districts. And I get to an image and I immediately know that it's a Toastmasters image. Granted, I'm a former public relations manager for, my district. I've spent a lot of time talking about PR. Therefore, I probably know a lot more about, oh, that's a Toastmasters image. Or I'm like, oh, darn it, their blue's a little off. What have you. Just because I've spent so much time looking at that brand manual and creating content myself. But when we look at these images, they're very iconic. And we want to make sure that when people look at the Toastmasters brand, they also know what they're getting. Because when you walk into any of these stores, you have an idea of what you're going to get, no matter where you're at. Quick look at the Toastmasters logo, and you can download the logos as well. Proper logo usage, you can add your club, you can add your district to it. Improper logo usage, do not modify our logo. Why? Because then it's not consistent and it doesn't demonstrate the professionalism. So download it as is, don't distort it, don't recolor it. We want to demonstrate we're professional and we want that consistency. Social media. So make sure that you follow the brand guidelines. We got Canva resources. logo. The color palette. This is just a quick cheat sheet for you of the color palette. That way you can take a look at it and you don't have to look at the brand manual every time. One of the things when I started as public relations manager, I thought, I don't know how I'm going to create posters that are unique. And these are not my posters. These were created by somebody else. But I thought they were great examples of two clubs that have unique personalities, but also they're branded and communicate why their club is great. So that's just a quick way to think about. And these were both created in Canva. So I highly encourage you to dig into Canva. And I do believe that we'll have a Canva training later on. So that way you can also get some advanced tips. Okay. We've talked a lot about our message and what we want to communicate. Now we need to decide where we're going to communicate all this. Besides our newsletter, here are some of the tools that you can use, but there's a lot of tools on here. You're usually only one person. As much as we say, let's have a PR committee. If we have a club of 20 people and we have 7 club officers, and each person had another person on their team, that's 14 people. 14 out of 20? In a perfect world, yes. But then you're still only 2 people. So really having a PR committee most of the time isn't something feasible. I do encourage you to ask others to help you. Ask your members, where are you hanging out? When you're sitting on the couch at night, scrolling through your phone, what platforms are you on? Because that's likely going to be where you're going to attract more people, because that's the audience that you're already attracting. And ask your members to share as well. One of the things people always ask, should I have a Facebook page or should I have a Facebook group? Well, you can have both, really. But your page is not external, getting people to come. Your group can be for club communications if you find that that's a great platform for people. It's all about where your members are. If you're a corporate club, really take a look at what platforms your HR team is using. And then, for example, at my work, we use Microsoft Teams. We also have an event platform. We're also using Microsoft Forms as well. But there's a method that they have to use to communicate, hey, sign up for these events. We happen to use Teams. We happen to use email as well. I love Microsoft Teams because every time somebody posts, it gives me that little red dot. I need to look at it. I'm communication overload sometimes. The second I see that red dot pop up, I want to look at it. But partner with your HR, partner with your learning and development team. If you're a corporate club, can it be incorporated into the corporate newsletter? Can it be incorporated into an all-employee meeting? Can you speak with all the department heads? What are those ways that you can reach people either directly or indirectly through influencers? Managers are a great way to encourage their team to come to Toastmasters. A Google business profile, my husband says I can get lost in a paper bag. So when I'm going somewhere new, I like to be able to see where I'm going in the business complex. It helps frame my reference because I use my Android Auto. And then when I get in the business complex, it's like, turn left, turn right, turn left. I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where this meeting room is. Sometimes, yes, there's a Toastmasters meets here sign outside. Not always, because we're not always able to put signage outside. Therefore, I love when I can visually look at it. LinkedIn is great for really attracting those professionals. Meetup, if your club has the money, Meetup can do it. I know some districts do Meetup. I personally find Meetup's okay, I personally wouldn't spend my club money on it. But if your club has a surplus of funds and meetup is something that works, or you know somebody in your club that has a meetup that's willing to share the meetup, then that's something that you can do. Instagram, one of the clubs, a few of the clubs in Founders District are really doing Instagram Reels, and that's how they're getting guests. They will ask guests that show up that are very dynamic and not, reserved and shy. Would you like to share a testimonial of how you enjoyed the meeting? Not only are you then getting the guests to automatically feel that they're a part of your family, but you're also creating a reel. They can share it with their followers, and reels are something that don't expire and can reach beyond just your own network. So they have received many, many guests by doing the reels. Eventbrite is free for free items. Obviously, coming to a club meeting is typically free. You may charge if you have a dinner meeting or something like that, but Eventbrite is a free platform that you can use to advertise your events. With all of these platforms, though, it's not a post and forget. It's a post, engage, follow, engage, post again. You don't want to just post all your content and be done with it, because that's not social media. You need to be posting on a regular basis and engaging with people and encouraging your members to engage as well. The algorithms reward engagement. The more that people engage with it, the more that it's naturally going to show up in somebody's feed. Yes, you can do paid ads, but you're going to have to spend a lot more on paid ads if you're
It's not going to be hot there. No, 76 now. It's okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
So this is just a quick look at the Google business profile.
Oh, it looks like she's not nice.
Okay. So now that we have talked about all the communication platforms that are out there, let's do a pulse check on which platforms or platform that you would like to add into your efforts. I will also drop that link in chat for us. I'm going to. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to share what some of the items that we're looking to use are. So we are looking to use Eventbrite, some Facebook, some Instagram, and some LinkedIn. Well, great. Thank you so much for sharing what tools you plan to use. And, as you're using these tools, really start thinking about what are my specific goals for the tool. If you don't have them, of course, your first goal is to set up the profile. But then if you do have them, think about, okay, I would say set 3 goals. My goal is to increase followers by 5%. My goal is to increase engagement by 10%. My goal is to increase the number of people reaching out through the prospective member management system by 20%. Whatever it may be, just really think about setting those goals and tracking those goals, because we need to make sure that our efforts are valuable. We can post all day long And if nobody's coming because of those, maybe it's not the best platform for us, and we don't want to waste our time because we're all really busy people. So, one of the things that you can use as a great tool for engagement as well as member retention is recognition. Recognition is key to retention. I thought these clubs did a great recognition. On the very left, I believe this was an Instagram story, if I remember properly. The Smedley, one of the things I would recommend is tagging your members, especially if you're doing a regular post. Anytime I get tagged, I'm always looking at my little Facebook notifications, and I don't know. I love notifications. And so I'd say I love notifications, but I also keep my phone on vibrate. So I don't know. Maybe I love notifications, but it's a little overwhelming because I love notifications too much. And then the South Orange County, they're doing the guest impressions. So if you're interested in taking a further look at any of these clubs, you can go ahead and check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and you can take a look at exactly what they are doing. And I think I'm trying to remember if the one on the left was an Instagram story, or I think they also may have created a video and some animation out of the photo. So there's a lot of creative ways that you can take your content and really amplify it. Another thing that I loved was Irvine Lunchtime Toastmasters. Oliver, he just graduated from Harvard Law School. I'm thinking, Oliver seems like a smart person. I want to hang out with him some more. And then you were always begging people to become club officers. We're like, please, please, please become a club officer. What if we can make it that being a club officer is something special? Highlighting our incoming club officer team on our profiles. So it's not just hey, yeah, you're a club officer and you have to do all this work. And thank you for being a club officer because I need 7 warm bodies to do it. Instead, it's an experience, because it really should be an experience. But I think sometimes we get caught up and nobody wants to raise their hand. But if we can provide that recognition for our club officers and say, this is an experience, the only suggestion I would have is for Irvine Lunchtime to tag their members. That way I find when you tag someone, they're more likely to like, comment, and share. It's always what I encourage my members to do. Say, hey, like it, comment, share, send it to people really make it as viral as you can. Okay, so now we have to think about how often we're going to communicate with our audience. If we are a monthly club, one of the things that I do for my monthly club is I announce the theme of the meeting. I then announce who my speakers are, because a lot of times I don't have it at the beginning. And then I distribute the agenda. I aim to get the agenda out a week before, because it's a good reminder of, oops, yep, I signed up for that role. I should really work on that speech. Oh, yep, I should put that information into Free Toast Host. And then, of course, follow up with your members closer as well. So if you're a monthly club, I would plan for a once a week touch point. If you're a club that meets every single week, you still can have a once a week touch point, but you're not going to communicate with your members 4 times a week. That would be an overwhelming amount of communication for yourself to prepare, as well as for your members to read. And therefore, you could, if you're meeting on a weekly basis, ideally plan ahead, have a rolling schedule of who your Toastmaster is, what the themes are. Ideally, if you can, get people to commit to being speakers. Easier said than done. I 100% understand. At the end of my club meetings, I'm always asking people, oh, what role would you like next week? Or who wants to be our Toastmaster? Crickets, crickets, crickets. Okay, well, we're a small club. Everybody's taking a role. Hey, which role would you like next week? Which role would you like next week? Oh, you haven't done this role in a while. Would you like this role? So I do understand it's easier said than done when it comes to having our Toastmaster, to having our speakers. The way around that is if you can get the theme, if you can get some themes in advance, you can have a rolling look at these are our themes. At a minimum, you can communicate these are our upcoming meetings. That way, those that are out there that are not only your members, they can remember, but other people as well know that this is an ongoing thing. It's not just a one and done. This is an opportunity to really enhance myself through an experiential learning program. So those are some of the things that you can think about. You can post a family photo, you can post stock images, because a lot of times it can be very difficult to get the information and confirm speakers until a lot closer to that meeting. Okay, how are we going to evaluate if we were effective? Anybody want to think how they're going to evaluate? Tanish.
If new guests are attending our meeting,
Yeah, I think that's key. Because we can get more followers, we can get more likes, but unless that's resulting in people coming to our meeting, it's not doing us a lot of good. So yes, our communication, part of our goals, obviously, evaluating if we're successful, are tied back to those metrics of our online platform. But we also need to make sure the right people are showing up to our meeting. And of course, I always say we can't evaluate our communication efforts based off who actually joins. We evaluate our club success based off who joins, but from a communication standpoint, our goal is to get them through the door. I work for an automotive company. We say our goal is to get butts in seats. For in this, so our goal is to get feet in the door and be at our meeting. That is one of your biggest things, because you can post all day long. You can get 1,000 followers, but if they're all bots and not actual people, it's not going to do you a lot of good. Okay, with that, I'm going to say, does anybody have questions? I know I covered a lot today.
so before we move on to the questions and feedback part, let's give Julie a huge round of applause
Thanks.
for the presentation. And yeah, I would like to kick off our session with a few questions that were actually asked by some of our members and leaders. Yeah, so one of the questions from these members and leaders were they wanted to know about the specific strategies or the different strategies that these different type of clubs can use. So if we look at clubs, we can classify them as, let's say, community club, corporate club, and advanced clubs. And then we can also classify the strategies, whether they are in person or online. So would you like to share some insights on that? That what different strategies these clubs can specifically use to for PR?
Yeah, so for a corporate club, typically for a corporate club, we're a corporate closed club. So in that case, we really want to leverage the tools that HR partner with our learning and development team. I'm trying to start a club at work. I'm in touch with our culture team. I'm in touch with them, and they're able to highlight it in the newsletter. They're able to do Teams posts for me. I have access to Teams, but it's better if it comes from them. So I would say for a corporate club, work with your learning and development or your HR team, whoever is the keeper of the culture, whoever is the keeper of that internal education. If you're an in-person club, market heavily to your community. One of the things you can do is you can join different Facebook groups and you can build a connection with people through there. I've also done some random posts on Reddit, and people have actually, I had a person show up to my in-person meeting the other day, and my club president was like, Julie, what is Reddit? I was like, don't worry, it's a social media platform. He's like, you've been posting on it? I was like, oh yeah, I post on it every now and again. But you can look for those opportunities where people are saying, I'm looking to, be a better interviewer. I'm looking for, a job. You can always position it as, Toastmasters is a great way to help you improve your skills to interview by doing table topics. If you're in person, one of the things I also suggest is building a really strong community amongst your club, especially if you're only in person. How can we do one of the things I did for our club, hosted a big 100th anniversary celebration. And then for Dr. Smedley's birthday, I said, well, I'm going to bring some cupcakes because, we want to celebrate his birthday. So, what are those milestones that are important to your club? How can I build that connection, among people as well? I think for around the winter holidays, I think around Christmas, I went to the dollar store and I went a little wild and bought some stuff. And my husband's like, where are you going to put this all? I was like, oh, don't worry. It's going to Toastmasters with me. He said, where is it going after? I was like, don't worry about where it's going after. Just worry that it's going to Toastmasters now. So I put out some extra decor, encouraged people to bring some treats. I encouraged people. We are a hybrid club. I did encourage people that live local. I was like, make the trek, make that opportunity to come experience it in person with us. I was like, I get, it's traffic, you got to eat dinner, all that, but, make this a special opportunity to, enjoy with others. One of our in-person clubs, they go out and they have snacks after the meeting. So look for those ways that you can build that interpersonal connection with people, because if you can build a really strong connection, then people are going to, when they're at their family barbecue, they're going to be talking about how great their Toastmasters experience is. And people are going to say, oh, tell me more about Toastmasters. And then you're not selling them on Toastmasters. You're just building that community amongst them. If you are an online club, you're competing against a ton of other clubs, but also look for those ways of how can I build community? Make sure that you're opening the meeting room 15 to 30 minutes early for pre-meeting chat. Make sure as club officers, if possible, you're not just ending the meeting the second it's done. Let people hang out, let people chat, because that's people's sense of community. There's times that I'm like, oh, I really want to chat with this person because this is the only time I get to see them, because we're all very busy people. So build that sense of community. If you're an online club, you really need to lean into that unique value proposition. If you're an in-person club, of course, lean into it, because you're still competing with the online clubs. You have the advantage of people that it's a location that works for them. But keep in mind that, it's a location that meets for them, but maybe they still like the online component too. So you're still competing with them nowadays. And then, okay, so we've covered if you're an advanced club, one of the things that, is great if you have, the world champions. It's great if you have Willie come and speak. But a lot of times, people are only coming to see Willie speak. They're not coming to visit your club. So, well, yes, Willie's going to draw some people. You're going to have a great meeting. Maybe you're going to build some people to your guest list. Think about showcasing your members through the panels, through those advanced presentations, and really making a big promotion around those. Highlight your members, because that's what's going to draw people in. We love our world champions. We love our accredited speakers, but I always recommend, as an advanced club, if you can, really promote your members, because that's going to bring guests that are going to be more likely to join. And it's also, who do you know? Who do you think would be a great fit for your club? In some clubs, they have a tradition of inviting the incoming area directors. And they say, hey, we have a lot of past district directors and governors, and we love to mentor, our future leaders. As an area director, come join us, and we promise we'll mentor you. And at first, I remember when I joined that club, I was like, this is really intimidating. But then I was like, oh, wait, you know what? These are people that I can get some advice from. And these are also people during contest season that I could call up and be like, hey, will you help with my contest? Because I have a relationship with them. So it's obviously more than contests. But, being able to define, as an advanced club, what that unique value proposition is, because as an advanced club, you're likely not somebody's first club. You're a lot of times when they join, you're their second priority because they have a home club already. Typically, because an advanced club, people are already a member of another club and they're joining your club. So you have to convince them why that extra $60 every 6 months is a good value, and how we convince them that unique value proposition in everything we do, because it will give them a challenge in a new way from their other club. Tanisha, did I cover them all? Okay, whew. All right. There's a lot of different types of clubs. I mean, there's so many different ways to market your club. We today only talked about the online component. Obviously, you can market your club if you're an in-person club, in your community. But, I really wanted to focus on some of those ways that we can maybe reach out online.
Awesome. Now, before we just go on for questions and feedback from everybody, let me just mark this in the recording.